Good day. Today, I'm going to share with you the grading system that we're going to adopt as per DepEd Order number 31 series of 2020. Challenges in the implementation of different distance learning delivery modalities provides reasonable leniency. Take note, fellow teachers, reasonable leniency to learners, but does not compromise the integrity and principles of assessment and grading. Written works and performance tasks for content and performance standards. So merong learning portfolios as evidence of learning, but then again, fellow teachers, tayo po ang magde-decide if papagawain pa natin ng portfolio ang mga bata. Halimbawa na isubmit naman yan ng complete ang lahat ng kanyang mga answer sheets with complete answers, papagawain pa ba natin siya? We have to decide on that. But make sure na kapag nagpagawa po tayo ng portfolio, mayroon tayong purpose. Bakit papagawain natin ang bata? Mahalaga po ito, and also bago tayo magpagawa ng portfolio, ibigay muna o ilahad muna natin sa kanila ang rubrics kung paano nila ito gagawin, at ito ang magsisilbing basihan nila sa kanilang paggawa. Siguraduhin din po natin na sa lahat ng ating ipapagawa sa kanila, ang mga materyales o kagamitan ay available o naroroon lang sa kanilang tahanan. Yung hindi na nila kailangan pang gumastos o lumabas para bumili, lahat po ng ito ay dapat nating isaalang-alang. Meron tayong minimum of 4 written works and 4 performance tasks within a quarter. Again, minimum of 4 written works and 4 performance tasks. Pwede po tayong magdagdag kung sa tingin natin ay nakukulangan tayo sa mga activities. Subalit, hindi po dapat ito bababa sa 4 written works at 4 performance tasks within a quarter. And all components should be covered by the performance task. Quarterly assessment shall not be administered for this school year 2020-2021. So wala po tayong quarterly test ngayong school year. Let us proceed now to the grading system. But before that, I'm going to show you the old grading system under DepEd Order number 8 series of 2015. As you can see on our slide, before, we have 3 components per learning area from grades 1 to grade 6. Look at the screen. Table shows 3 components: the written work, performance task, and quarterly assessment. For language, including English and Filipino, MTB, MLE, Araling Panlipunan, and ESP, o Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao. Before, we have 30% for written works, 50% for performance tasks, and 20% for quarterly assessment, with a total of 100%. For science and mathematics, before, weights given for written work is 40%, another 40% for performance tasks, and 20% for quarterly assessment, with a total of 100%. And for MAPE, EPP, and TLE subjects, before, weights given for written works is 20%, 60% for performance tasks, and 20% for quarterly assessment, with a total of 100%. That is the weight distribution per learning area before. Yan po ang ginagamit natin noon noong may face-to-face pa po tayo. As you can see, table shows the weight distribution of the summative assessment components per learning area for grades 1 to grade 6 as per DepEd Order No. 31 series of 2020. As you can see on our slide, there are two components, the written works and performance tasks. Weights given for language including English, Filipino, kasama na po dito ang MTB, MLE, Araling Panlipunan at Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao. 40% for the written works and 60% for the performance tasks, with a total of 100%. The given weights for science and mathematics under written works is 50% and another 50% for the performance task with a total of 100%. And the last one is MAPE, EPP and TLE. Weights given for the written work is 30% and 70% for the performance task. 100% din po yan. Mas malaki lang po ang performance task under MAPE, EPP and TLE, which is 70%. Look at the next slide. On the upper portion, table shows the weight distribution of the summative assessment components per learning area for grades 1 to grade 6 as per DepEd Order No. 31, series of 2020. On the lower portion, table shows the weight distribution of the summative assessment components per learning area from grades 1 to grade 6 as per DepEd Order No. 8, series of 2015. Based on the given table, alin po ba sa dalawa ang gagamitin nating basihan ng pagbibigay ng marka o para sa ating mga mag-aaral? Tama po. Ang DepEd Order No. 31 series of 2020, ang ating i-adapt, ang ating gagamitin ngayong school year 2020-2021. Malinaw po ito. Ito po ay mayroong dalawang components, ang written works at ang performance task. Sapagkat wala na po tayong quarterly assessment ngayon. Saan po napunta yung percentage para sa quarterly test? Ito po ay i-divide, hinati po at idinagdag sa percentage ng written works at performance task. Yung 20% po na nasa quarterly test ay hinati sa dalawang components, idinagdag yung 10% sa written works at yung another 10% sa performance task. I will show you the sample computation of written works and performance tasks in different learning areas. First, in English, Filipino, MTB, MLE, Araling Panlipunan at Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao for grades 1 to grade 6. As you can see, we have the step 1. All we have to do is to get the total score of learners in each component for written works and performance tasks. Doon muna po tayo sa written works. The total score of learner A is 77. Sa unang written work na ginawa, 18 ang nakuha ni learner A. Sa sumunod, 22 ang nakuha niyang score. Third, 20, and the last one is 17. All in all, sa written works, nakuha niya ang total score na 77. The highest possible score is 85 for written works. Ang percentage score, yung may bilog na kulay pula, that is 91. And the weighted average is 36.4%, yung binlugan natin ng kulay dilaw. Nakikita po natin sa ating screen. Paano po natin nakuha yung 91 at yung 36.4%? Saan po ba ito nanggaling? Ayan, ipapakita ko po sa inyo kung paano natin yan na-compute. Next is how to compute for the percentage score. Moving on to step 2, to get the percentage score or the PS, paano po natin gagawin ito? We're going to divide the total raw score by the highest possible score, then multiply the quotient by 100. Look at the table. Table shows the total number of scores in written work is 77. 77 po ang ating raw score divided by the total highest possible score. The highest possible score for written work is 85. 77 divided by 85 times 100 is equal to 90.5. Ang atin pong percentage score for written work is 91. Next is how to compute for the weighted average. Moving on to step 3. All we have to do is to convert the percentage score to weighted scores. Then multiply the percentage scores by the weight of the component. Ang atin pong percentage score is 91. Yung inisolve po natin kanina. Then, imumultiply po natin ito sa 40%. Bakit po sa 40%? Ito po ang ating weight distribution for written works. 91 times 0.40% is equals to 36.4%. The weighted average is 36.4% for the written works. Ayan po yung nakikita po natin sa ating screen na binilugan natin ng kulay yellow. Weighted average is 36.4%. Same procedures, same steps po ang gagamitin natin sa pagkuha ng results for the performance task. Under performance task, the total score of learner A is 56. Sa unang performance task na ginawa, 12 ang nakuhang score ni learner A, second, 10, third, 19, and the last one is 15. All in all, sa performance task, nakuha ni learner A ang total score na 56. The highest possible score is 75 for performance task. Ang percentage score, yung may bilog na kulay pula, that is 75. And the weighted average is 45%. Yung binilugan po natin ng kulay dilaw. Paano po natin nakuha yung 75 at yung 45%? Saan po ba ito nanggaling? To get the percentage score or the PS, paano po natin ito gagawin? Same steps po sa ipinakita natin kanina. We're going to divide the total raw score by the highest possible score, then multiply the quotient by 100. Look at the screen. Table shows the total number of scores in performance task. That is 75. 75 po ang ating percentage score, yung PS. Yan, yung binilugan po natin ng kulay red. Divided by the total highest possible score. The highest possible score for performance task is 75. 56 divided by 75 times 100 is equal to 74.66. Ang atin pong percentage score is magiging 75. Next is we have to convert percentage score to weighted scores. Then, multiply the percentage score by the weight of the components. Ang atin pong percentage score is 75, yung inisolve po natin kanina, then imumultiply po natin ito sa 60%. Bakit po sa 60%? Ito po ang ating weight distribution for performance task. 75 times 0.60% is equal to 45%. The weighted average is 45% for the performance task. Next, how to compute for the initial grade. Let's move on to step 4. We're going to add the weighted score of each component. The result will be the initial grade. Look at the table. As you can see, the weighted average for the written work and the weighted average for the performance task. Ayan po yung may bilog na kulay red. So we have 36.4% weighted average for written works and 45% weighted average for the performance task. All we have to do is to add 36.4% plus 45% is equal to 81.4. Ayan po yung may bilog na kulay blue. The initial grade is 81.4, but we will not stop there because under DepEd Order No. 8, series of 2015, yan po, yung nakikita natin sa ating screen. Here is our transmutation table from DepEd Order No. 8, series of 2015. For the step 5, transmute the initial grade using the transmutation table. As you can see on our screen, our transmutation table can be found in Appendix B in DepEd Order No. 8, series of 2015. After getting the initial grade, by simply adding both the written work and performance task, we will not stop there. Hindi pa po tayo tapos doon. We will adopt now the transmutation table. Ito po yung nakikita natin sa ating screen. Ang initial grade po na nakuha natin kanina is 81.4. That is equivalent to 88. Therefore, the result after computing the written works and performance tasks para kay learner A, nakakuha po siya ng 88%. So, yan po ang kaniyang magiging grade, 88. Now, let us proceed to mathematics and science. We're going to use the same procedures, the same process, the same steps in computing dun po sa mga ipinakita natin kanina. The only difference is the assigned weighted average, which is 50% for the written work and another 50% for performance tasks. In computing the written work, first, we have to get the raw score, which is 77, divided by 85. The highest possible score, multiply it by 100. 77 divided by 85 times 100 is equal to 90.58. So our percentage score is 91. In computing the weighted average, get the percentage score, which is 91, multiply it by 50 or 0.50 is equal to 45.5%. The weighted average of learner A for the written work is 45.5%. Now let's proceed to performance task. To get the percentage score, the raw score for performance task is 56 divided by the highest possible score, which is 75. Then multiply it by 100, the answer is 74.66. The percentage score now is 75 for the performance task. Let's move on to the computation of weighted average. We are going to multiply the percentage score, that is 75, multiply it by 50% or 0.50. Therefore, the weighted average is 37.5%. Next is to find the initial grade. We're going to combine the written work weighted average to the performance task weighted average. Ayan po yung may bilog na kulay red sa ating screen. 45.5% para sa written work at 37.5% naman para sa performance task, yung may bilog na kulay yellow. 45.5% plus 37.5%, that is 83. The next step is to look for the transmutation table in DepEd Order No. 8 series of 2015. The equivalent rating of 83 in the transmutation table is 89. Ang initial grade po natin na 83, once transmuted, becomes 89. Ito po ang rating ni learner A, magiging 89. Now, let us proceed to MAPE, EPP, and TLE. We're going to use the same procedures, the same process, the same steps sa mga ipinakita po natin kanina. The only difference is the assigned weighted average, which is 30% for the written work and 70% for the performance task. In computing the written work, first, we have to get the raw score, which is 77, divided by 85, the highest possible score, multiply it by 100. 77 divided by 85 times 100 is equal to 90.58. So our percentage score is 91. In computing the weighted average, get the percentage score, which is 91, multiply it by 30 or 0.30 is equal to 27.3%. The weighted average of learner A for the written work is 27.3%. Yung nakikita po natin na binilugan natin ng kulay pula. Now let's proceed to performance task to get the percentage score. The raw score for performance task is 56 divided by the highest possible score, which is 75, then multiply it by 100. The answer is 74.66. The percentage score now is 75. Now let's move on to the computation of weighted average. We're going to multiply the percentage score, that is 75, multiply it by 70 or 0.70. Therefore, the weighted average is 52.5%. Next is to find the initial grade. We're going to combine the written work weighted average to the performance task weighted average. Ayan po yung may bilog na kulay red sa ating screen. 27.3% para sa written work at 52.5% naman para sa performance task. Yung may bilog na kulay yellow, 27.3% plus 52.5%, that is 79.8%. The next step is to look for the transmutation table in DepEd Order No.8, series of 2015. The equivalent rating of 79.8 in the transmutation table is 87. Ang initial grade po natin na 79.8, once transmuted, becomes 87. Ito po ang rating ni learner A, magiging 87 once transmuted. Before I end my presentation, I will show you the sample written work na mayroon na sa module natin. Nakalagay po dito ang panuto. Sumulat ng maikling talata tungkol sa iyong matalik na kaibigan gamit ang mga panghalipananong at tamang bantas. Nakikita po natin na nakalagay ang mga pamantayan at ang katumbas nitong puntos. Ang mga pamantayan po wastong gamit ng panghalipananong, angkop na pagkakaugnay ng mga pangungusap, pagkamalikhain, angkop na pagkakagamit ng bantas na may kabuuang 20 puntos. Here is another sample of written work for grades 1 to grade 3. Nakalagay po ang panuto, paggawa ng collage. Gumupit o gumuhit ng 5 larawang nagpapakita ng mga salitang kilos. Lagyan ito ng disenyo at maikling paliwanag o paglalarawan. Idikit ang mga ito sa bond paper. Nakalagay din po ang pamantayan at ang katumbas nitong puntos. Ang mga pamantayan po wastong gamit ng salitang kilos, angkop ang pagkakagamit ng mga bantas, pagkamalikhain, pangkalahatang dating, ito po ay may kabuuang 25 puntos. Ito po ang isa pang sample para sa ika-4 at ika-6 na baitang. Ang panuto gamit ang mga pangalan sumulat ng isang anunsyo o patalastas tungkol sa pagtatapon ng basura. Ilagay ito sa malinis na bond paper at kulayan ng Crayola. Nakalagay din po ang mga pamantayan at ang katumbas nitong puntos. Ang mga pamantayan po wastong gamit ng salitang kilos, taglay na impormasyon o detalye, dating at pagkakalatag na may kabuuang 25 puntos. Tayo po ay binibigyan ng karapatan. Tayo po ang mag-i-evaluate kung ano ba ang mga finished product na i-rate natin. Dahil tayo po ay binigyan ng kalayaan upang gamitin ang ating kakayahan, linangin at alamin kung paano natin masusuri ang kakayahan ng bawat mag-aaral. But then again, provides reasonable leniency to learners, but does not compromise the integrity and principles of assessment and grading. Maraming salamat po, and I hope you understand the sample computation in different learning areas for grades 1 to grade 6. With that, thank you very much, and again, a pleasant morning.